Hey guys, we're finally back for American Horror Story. Today it is Origin Week on American Horror Story. What I mean by that is today we're looking at the backstories on each character of American Horror Story that we have seen so far, as well as the episode overall, what happened, and let's get into it. So we follow the synopsis for this episode 4 American Horror Story, which is Blood Buffet. And we definitely saw in the episode that we started seeing the history of the province town came to light. So the first thing we saw automatically from the first few 10 minutes, we saw a new person moving in. Who else? We have the chemist. The chemist met with Holden, which is played by one of our veterans, Dennis O'Hare. And Holden was basically still the interior designer, as well as the designer for everything that we have seen, that like the town houses that we have been seeing. He designed everything that we have seen so far. So Holden and the chemist started having a conversation. So the chemist, Holden was like, "So, are you new to this town?" She said, "Yeah, but the chemist said that she just had a bad breakup, indicating her job, which we come to find out that she's basically used to work for the government." And she just went on a limb to just go quietly, basically laying low until I guess they call her again, or she's trying to live in a low profile. And Holden was like, "So you're a chemist?" She said, "Yeah, but I'm a chemist from Harvard." She said she has a PhD in it. So she said that cooking up drugs and stuff like that is way below her pay grade. So automatically we saw that as she's moving in, she has all these different boutique things in the in her luggage. So she set up a lab in her basement to create the origin of the pills. Now we followed by what happened next was we started getting introduced to Belle Noir's character before she became Belle Noir. She basically was a same as Fenn Ridrock. She's a writer, but the husband is kind of abusive and he's a bit of homophobic, and he basically got so mad at her and saying that your writing are not so good. Like, you need to write better. You need to create things that it's gonna make people understand. So Belle Noir basically says, this is my third book this week, and I would love for people to come see my books and to see how much I have grown as just a person. The book was basically about the secret marriage of, I think, one of the presidents. And then as we follow, we saw what happened next. She basically explained that she's trying to sell her books and she's not making too big on it, and the husband put her down so much that because of her timid look before she became Belle Noir, the husband basically just bashed her for every little thing. She said that he spent 40 years with her and nothing's changed. So she started saying that I haven't changed, I was just like this when you met me. So eventually we saw that Belle Noir was creating a little book club thing, and she basically had like the first few pages, Martha and I guess one of the other president's name, the secret marriage of them and stuff like that. So she started reading a little page of her book, and eventually the husband was like, "Well, how many books that you have sold lately?" And she was like, "I only sold one." And the person that we saw that's buying that book was basically the chemist. Now the chemist started explaining, that's a really good book, I will buy it. And she, Belle Noir ended up signing it. And eventually we saw the chemist appears at the Muse, which is the bar that we saw in the first episode. Now she started explaining things and looking around, and she spotted on Mickey, which is played by Macaulay Culkin, and automatically the chemist was like, maybe it's time for her to start, using people. So basically, we started getting more understanding that one thing for sure, that she's just using people for the advantage to use her pills. So Belle Noir, she just got so timid and just told the husband, I'm trying to write a book and I'm trying to be the next big thing, the next big writer, so that way they could live comfortably. And the husband was like, yeah, we use all of our savings and stuff just to make your dreams come true, but at the end of the day, nothing that you have done so far has benefit us together. He said, well, if this is gonna last too long, I supported your dreams, and now it's like your dreams are the thing that's tearing people down. So Belle Noir was like, is there a way or anything that I could do to change your mind, to basically come back and understand that I'm just doing this for us, not anything else. And she just relaxed and just don't say anything at all, and went back in the house just to work on more of her things, to get inspired to create more books and stuff like that. And then we saw that the chemist met with Mickey, the first person that she ever met with, and she's explaining to Mickey how she moved into this town and she used to work for the government. And she's also said that she created these forms of pills, and those pills allows you to affect the part of the brain that connects the talented part of your brain, and it basically amplifies it. So Mickey was like, okay, that's interesting. At first when she got into the bar and met with Mickey was like, well, do you have any crack or anything? I'm only here to be of a servitude. And she was like, I'm just, I just want someone to talk to. And she started giving more of her backstory and explaining why she moved to the province town in the first place. She basically explained that, once those parts of your brain is unlocked, you can never get enough of what basically you will want to want more. But people that already have the talent, they're just gonna feel entitled to want to get more of the pills, but that's not gonna change them fully. But people that has taken the pills or animals that they tested on, they went crazy, they went ballistic, and they killed the other animals and drank their blood. Now Mickey's looking at the pills like, yeah, no thank you, I don't want those pills. Mickey was like, as a person that takes drugs, this is like the capstone for me. So we saw that Mickey is very aware and very known that, as hard as you could even get drugs that could put you in a fix, but there's some things that that's beyond wrong, and they could just feel it. So even Mickey himself as an addict knows the limit to his addiction as well. So then after Mickey about to leave, he told the chemist so since you wanted someone to talk to, I just did that for you, but can I leave now, because I got things to do, drug things to do. And the chemist gave him $50. She said for every $50, each time you bring a patient to me, I will give you $50 so I could use those people to test the pills on. So now that we get a more of a backstory of why those pills are affecting people different ways, so it goes to show that, and we're gonna get further on in the episode. One of the characters, we saw the start and the transformation of what the pills done to you for people that's not talented, right? They become so aggressive because their anger is more darkened than the regular person that has taken the pills. So we flash forward to Belle Noire again, and she is crying and emotion. She basically told Mickey that, do you have any substances right now? And Mickey was like, yeah, I can't give you any more meth, because if I give you more, you'll become too obsessed, and then eventually you're gonna be too addicted. But he said, but I do have something else though that you could take. It's just for you. It's for creative thinkers like you, so you should take it. So Mickey slips Belle Noire the black pill that he got from the chemist. So he's basically, now we understand, he was the first person to introduce Belle Noire to the pills, as well as previous people that we're gonna mention after what went down in the episode. So Belle Noire ended up taking the pills. She went back home. She started writing a whole book. She wrote a whole book, and on top of that, when the husband came back after he finished having an argument, Belle Noire was like, where were you? And the husband was like, oh, I came back. He said, oh, what are you laughing at? And Belle Noire was like, where were you? You just left. And he said, oh, guess what? I found a woman and I find her attractive, so I had sex with her, and then we're gonna wake up and we're gonna have another sex again, and that's gonna be the end of it. And he said, you could just count this marriage over, since you can no longer meet my needs. So you can no longer meet my needs. Then we saw Belle Noire was just laughing hysterically, and eventually she took the bottle that she was drinking and just slit the husband's throat and just drunk his blood. But before that happened, what happened is that after she saw that, she had the impulse to drink the husband's blood. So she did that, and then she came right back into the writing board and just kept writing even more. So after what happened, they basically shown that she went back to the chemist, and she was explaining to the chemist that I killed my husband and I don't know what to do right now, because now that he's dead, there's no point of me hiding anything anymore. And the chemist started explaining to her. The chemist was like, okay, if you want to keep writing like this, I'm gonna have to give you those pills every 5 weeks or days, just to see the side effects of what's going on. But you gotta let me know every single thing that is going on with you. Like, how do you feel certain days after drinking the blood? How do you continue to say? And she said that and then Belle Noire was like, what is this? Like, what have you done to me? Like, I just sat down and wrote an entire abstract part of her novel, and then after killing her husband, she went right back down and wrote the whole page of her novel. She said that, well, the idea of this pills is to unlock your potential on your brain, where your talented part relies. So it's basically the pills are feeding off her talent, but it's also producing her more talent because it amplifies it. So the Belle Noire met with Lurk, and Lurk ended up giving Belle Noire a new type of clothes, and thus we see the Belle Noire that we see in the first episode of Double Feature. She has a new look, black lipstick, white hair, new look hair, as well as the coat, and then eventually we got the Belle Noire we had in the first episode. But what's going on now that she finally emerged into her real self, we saw another thing that's more important that's happened. Mickey also met with another person, and this person was already a singer, and he was also, I guess, a monk. He said he was, and his job is like he don't hate anybody. He wants to heal and help people around the world. That's why he sings, and just to inspire. And he said he know he got the talent. So he met with the chemist. The chemist explained to him, like, if you take this, you're gonna have to let me, said the same thing. We're gonna have to test you to see how the effect of the pills, affects you. So a couple of days, the person came back, and they basically started saying that, I don't know what's been going on. I wrote so many things, and it's so good. Was telling the chemist that, but he said, now I feel hungry and I feel as if I need more. And then eventually he started, trying to attack the chemist. The chemist was like, if you feel your hair's falling off or anything, that means that not only those pills are affecting you, but at the same time you becoming less of those pale creatures out there. So it goes to show that the reason why we see all these pale creatures out there is because the chemist gave it to some people, and she was explaining a hint that I don't want you to come back here ever again, as she pulls the gun in his face. She told him that a lot of people are gonna keep coming here to take those pills, so you're not the only person that's special. So the more of those people that comes here, the more they're gonna become very fucked up like him, and they're gonna become just like those pale creatures that you see. So eventually we're getting the origin of the pale creatures. So the people that took the pills and don't feel talented enough, their anger is more worse than the person that's like already talented, that feels entitled. So basically they're transforming because they have more pent-up rage inside of them because they're not talented, indicating he hates. The real reality is the pills brings out his emotions. So instead of him loving everyone and caring about everyone, he actually hates them deep inside. So it also feels as if those pills brings out the truth in you as well. So then Belle Noire basically got to the bar, met with someone else. As they started rolling out, the chemist started saying that we need to get more of those people, but at the same time we need to watch out how we distributing those pills, because the fact that new people are coming into the town and having more pills, it's not beneficial to her. So we saw that Belle Noire end up getting her teeth sharpened, having the same teeth as the Lurk, played by Billy Lore, and eventually, as I said, got a new look. Now, as she came right back in the bar, we saw a new face, Evans Peters' character, and this time he is playing a stand-up drag queen, and he's not that very good at it. He's just using that publicity stunt to basically get money and get some money to do whatever he wants. And he said that the person that was supposed to help him out to get him ready to be known, he don't know what happened to him and got killed. So Belle Noire is explaining and just staring at him and just thinking, okay, this could be my next person that I could bribe and help out to be just like me. So eventually she listened to his story, and she was like, you know what, here, take this, and we're gonna get you feed, and we're gonna see what happens, So at the bar, after Evan Peters' character is finished singing Austin, we saw that all these other people that was bullying him, the other drag queen people that for the night, end up basically regretting that later. So Belle Noire appears at the place where those drag queens were and stuff like that. She started shooting them and feeding on them at the same time. And then Evan Peters was like, okay, fuck it, let's just give me the pills, let's head over there. So Evan Peters got the first hint at those pills, and he started drinking some people's blood here and there. And we saw that one of those drag queens escaped, but ended up coming right back into the graveyard, where the guy that was the singer that became the pale creature, the very first pale creature, basically drank his blood and just killed him. So we saw that in the span of those few things in the episode, a lot of people got killed. So when Evan Peters finally got his form and new look, we saw that he's gonna keep taking more of those pills. So now we got the origins of the pills and how it really got there in the first place. The main thing is that we started understanding that at the end of the episode, this is what the scenario came down to be. So we know that the chemist herself is the ringleader that is creating those pills, and that the connection between Red Tie and Death Valley would be that I think the chemist has a bigger role to play in all this, because not only she's the one that distributing the pills, but why do you think one of the things she said in the first part of the episode for Blood Buffet is that she basically went on a low to not let the government know where she is, but I don't think she hasn't fully abandoned her job in the government, because the fact that she came just directly for the town just to basically create more of those pills, just to make people more messed up and them, goes to show that she's not only just doing this because she wants to. She's curious to see how crazy someone would go until they could put them down, or what evolution might come out of this, since the people keep taking the pills. So one of the most craziest thing we have realized is that the more we see she gave the pills to some of the right people and the wrong people. That's why we end up seeing all those pale creatures in the first place, and the one of the episode 3 or 2 of the season. So forwarding on to the episode, the tie-in could be that she is part of the government, which she says she is, and that the government just gave her this leeway just to basically spy on the people, so that way she could find a way to make more people use the pills, so they could find an alternative to see what can solve the antidote of the pills. Now, she also mentioned, the chemist, that the best way to not go become like those pale creatures, you have to take those pills more than like a week or 5 weeks prior. So you can't take them back to back, or else like you'll be bloodthirsty, and if you can't find talented blood, you basically will turn to those pale creatures that you see out there. So basically she's scared. I realized that the chemist has never stepped outside like that prior to when she came in, how they introduced everything a couple of 5 weeks ago, how they mentioned it in October. So it goes to show, after all this crazy thing that's been going on, she hasn't really been showing up outside of the town. She's just been staying home, creating more of those pills. Okay, so that's something I realized already about her as well. Now we flash forward on something that I wanted to also discuss, that I also realized about the episode, was that it goes to show that Belle Noire, as well as Austin and the other people that the chemist has affect, is that I think the reason why tuberculosis Karen was more scared of them is that they could smell people that have talent and what doesn't have talent. So if you look at one of the pictures that we saw in the very first cameo of the American Horror Story when it was being created, we know that Mickey is basically explaining that he wants to be a writer, and he wants to like go to like New York or Los Angeles to create like more books and stuff. Then this picture we've been seeing here, what if it's a picture indicating that Mickey will be the one of the survivors to leave and live out his dreams to become very famous with Ursula. So one thing that we have been seeing is that if you look in the trailer for the next upcoming episode, you could see what went down. Check it out.
Your mother saw you last night.
Believe me. I'm sorry. Not if you become like Daddy and I. Could have it all, Mom's like just like us.
VHS double feature, part 1. All new next Wednesday at 10 on FX. Next day, FX.
So we saw automatically in the trailer breakdown we're gonna do real quick. We saw that Alma is back, as well as Doris and Henry, but Alma is basically explaining that the best way for her to be part of the family and to be like great is that she needs to basically be like her dad, which is Henry, and her, so that way she could be talented. Now my theory for the next episode is that, especially the thing is called Winter Kills, is it's gonna be a fight to the death between Alma trying to kill her mom, probably because either she wants her to be just the same as her or even worse. And I think Doris is gonna take an ugly turn. So if she do and decide to take those pills, I think she's one of those pale creatures that we saw that was standing in the cemetery. So I think that she's gonna turn very ugly because she can't find any inspiration. So that's probably one of the reasons why she could check to see if she's not talented. And we even saw in the trailer that there's a lot that's gonna be happening, and we saw that I think this person is either Henry or one of the other people that the creatures bit off and they're transforming. So I guess we get to learn that the chemist is the one that basically created all those creatures. And then we saw Alma is saying that the best way to become just like us is to take those pills, and Henry just took the violin away from Alma. So it's like with all the vitamin things she's been taking, she basically seemed like she decided to take those pills after all to become talented, just like her daughter as well as her husband. But for some reason it's like she's transforming or something's going on. And at the same time we see that tuberculosis Karen basically tells Mickey that if he leaves, that those pale creatures are gonna kill her. And then I guess Mickey trying to leave, like I said before, but I guess tuberculosis probably decided to take those pills and then kill Mickey and before he leaves the province town. So I think that's what's the next episode is gonna be, where we're gonna start seeing a lot of deaths left and right, and people that are gonna transform into those pale creatures in the first place. So I definitely think this episode was very good. It's setting up for a big part of the finale of the season coming up, so that way to get ready for part 2, which is Death Valley. I definitely feel as if the connection is coming from the chemist herself, and the birth of Doris' child. We haven't realized what the child is yet, but we're probably gonna find out in the next episode, now that she's finally back from the hospital. But like I said, guys, this was part 4 of episode 4, Red Tide. So like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for more American Horror Stories and reviews. Bye bye.